If you're seeing slow progress or no progress in your karate training or your martial arts training, do these 5 things and I guarantee you will see a difference. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 areas that I am guaranteeing will improve your karate. It sounds like a clickbaity title, but when you see what I'm going to talk about, I'm sure you will agree. So let's get straight in with the first one. Listen to your sensei. I assume that you trust your sensei and you've chosen to train with them because you believe in what they are teaching or what they kind of stand for, and you believe in their karate journey or their path that they're trying to deliver to you. So when they are giving correction, accept it, take it on board, and implement it. So often you give the same bit of feedback to people constantly, months and months and months on end of the same thing over and over again. You take the advice that you're given in sessions, actively work on it, and come back better next time. You're going to get more feedback and you're going to progress much quicker. If you're stuck on the same thing all the time and your sensei has to keep telling you the same thing over and over again, you're not going to progress because you're still stuck on that same thing they're trying to help you to improve. And as I said, if you trust your sensei, then you should believe in what they're trying to give you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't question things and ask why certain things are done, but you've got to trust their coaching or their advice and follow it. So the second point, and this kind of ties into the last one a little bit, is to practice with intention. Every time you are training, keep the things in mind, like the feedback or certain things. You're not simply making shapes and just sticking the arm out and making shapes all the time. You are actively thinking about how you can improve each movement as you're doing so. So you're thinking about your foot position, the angles of your hips, your shoulders, everything, the application of what you're doing. So you're constantly thinking about your training. So it's as much a mental thing as it is physical. So I always say that the Kihon training, our Kihon, which is our kind of fundamental training, is kind of the hardest thing to train really, because we are constantly thinking and constantly adapting and adjusting our bodies to try to make minor improvements that all add up to the bigger picture in the end. My third point, and I guarantee you will get better as a result of this, is to add strength training to your program, your karate training or your martial arts training. A stronger body can perform better in every area. There's so many people that are kind of against weight training with martial arts and all this, but it's all based on kind of myth really. Weight training is going to slow you down and all this kind of thing. Weight training will improve your performance, and we see this because high-level athletes in all other sports, athletics, all these kind of things, implement weight training and strength training to improve their performance. So why, as karateka or as martial artists, would it not be the same thing for us? The kind of stereotype of a heavy, slow bodybuilder is silly as well, because it takes a hell of a long time to get that big. It doesn't happen by luck. It's very difficult to get so big naturally that you are hindering your performance in martial arts. The opposite though, being too sort of weak maybe and too small, can certainly hinder your performance. So adding some muscle, adding some size and some strength is only going to be of benefit. Number 4, stretch more often. Add stretching to your program if you're not doing it at all. And I don't mean just to warm up for your sessions. Try and find some time in the week outside of training to do some stretching, and I don't mean every single day. No training should be done every day. You'll get people telling you have to stretch every single day in order to get better at splits or kicking or whatever. Your body needs time to rest and to adapt to the stresses that you're putting on it. If you're doing something every day, you're not allowing the body to recover and make the adaptations that you're trying to put it through. So make sure that you are stretching consistently and regularly, but it doesn't have to be every day. And on top of this, it should be a full body stretching program. It should not just be legs, it should be shoulders, upper back, neck, wrists, everything, the feet, the whole body should be taken into account rather than just trying to think only of the sort of, the hips and that, thinking the kicking is just about that. We also have to think about our entire body. So the lower back, the thoracic area, and the shoulders, all of the body contributes to the technique. If we're kicking, the entire body is used, not just the legs. So we must have a mobile and flexible entire body in order to kick and perform best. And of course, it's not just kicking, upper body punching, grappling, throwing, all these kind of things require a good level of mobility throughout the entire body. So make sure your stretching program covers everything, and it is not every single day. Get your recovery in as well. The fifth and final point that I will guarantee will improve your karate or your martial arts is to do your research. When I was younger, I used to read a lot of books about karate, both technique and sort of history and all this kind of thing. And I don't mean you have to be a historian in martial arts to be good at it. Of course not. If you find that interesting, then so be it. However, understanding a little bit about where it comes from and the influences that have had on your style from other areas can really supplement your karate and improve your understanding of why we're doing certain things. That research could also mean videos. So I've got a whole load of instructional videos on this channel. You don't have to watch me, but I would appreciate if you did. But being more exposed to martial arts or karate is going to overall help you out. If you just go to your karate session once or twice a week and then forget about it when you get home, then it's going to be slow going with the progress. If you are coming away from the dojo, doing a little bit of research, watching things, studying bits, say you go to your session and you're working on side kicks, for example, come away, search for side kicks on YouTube, have a look at some ideas. It might be slightly different to your ideas that you're doing in your dojo or in your gym, your training gym. However, it's good to have knowledge. Sometimes it's good to see things that you don't like as well, because then you don't like it. I watch a lot of videos and I disagree with maybe the points they're saying, but it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means it's not for me. That is also of value, I believe. So do your research. Find information on the things you're doing. Try to understand your style and your martial art even further. So a fairly short and concise video there today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know any of your points you would add to this, because there are many, many more ideas out there that could help other people as well. So let's try to get in the comments, let people know some of your ideas that have helped you to improve your martial arts, and we can get a discussion going down there. So implement some of these tips and I guarantee your karate will improve.